Okay, so this is the ninth chapter that we are going to read, and we are reading a whole book, and the name of the book is 59%. And this is the ninth chapter, and the chapter name is On Parents. Okay, so the book is written by one of the best authors, and his name is Ashish Arora. Yeah, if you know him, then it's wonderful. Okay, so we are going to read the ninth chapter, the relationship, and it is all about on parents. So we will try to figure out what he's trying to say about the parents. Okay, so the relationship you have with your parents and your family goes a long way in determining your success. When you go through the ups and downs of your life, there is no one you can rely on accept them. They have watched you grow. They were there with you when you could barely speak. They are the ones with whom you have spent most of your time. Yeah, that is so true. And I think if any home where the relationship between their parents and children are not good, so I think they both will suffer because I think children will suffer more because it will they won't be able to share from what they are going through to anyone, and there won't be anyone who can save them in danger time. So yeah, I think the relationship with their parents do matter a lot. I was lucky enough to have the kind parents and supportive family with whom I am blessed. There is rarely anything or anyone I love more than them. If it weren't for my parents, I don't think I'd be there where I am today. I can never forget how my father would put me on his shoulder and take me to the market. He used to answer every single question that I asked to him. And my mother, who has shaped my whole world and whose greatness cannot be expressed in words. Our parents are wonderful because they love us unconditionally. They try to complete our wish. They do so much for us, and yeah, we are blessed that we have parents. And because there are so many children, not few. There are so many children out there who don't have parents and who are not blessed with it. So you need to be blissful, and you need to be grateful that you have parents. Okay, why the distance? Okay, now if you will realize, so there is a huge gap between parents and children. Children are not sharing much what is going on in their life with their parents, and that is somewhere it is not good, right? So today when I look around, it seems like a hidden wall has emerged between the children and their parents. Now you can call it generation gap or something, but it's wrong. Your parents are like your shield, right? If this protective shield disappear, even that most minor difficulty seem insurmountable. So true, because I think I personally feel if there is someone whom I can look up to, who is always there to protect me, I will feel very safe, and I will be feel fearless because there would be a feeling from inside, that no matter what is going to happen, there is one person, he or she is always going to be with me, and he or she is always going to help me in my trouble, in my bad time. So I think our parents are our shield, and we should be with that shield, right? In most families, everything is fine until the children are in school, but as soon as they get out of the school, they start neglecting the parents existing, and they have the feeling that their parents are not so important. So they begin to distance themselves from their parents, ignore their phone calls, and often snip them on. The people who taught you to walk by holding your finger suddenly become conservative and stubborn. Right. So yeah, there, and you need to understand. See, they are just care. They care about us, right? If there's something that you don't like about them, you need to talk to them. You need to shut it out. You don't need to say that you can't understand me or somewhere, because they understood you even when you wouldn't be able to speak. Like when you were a kid, you don't know how to speak, and they that time they understand you, that what you want and all other things. So now when you can finally talk, when you can walk, when you can do anything, so they can understand you, right? So be with your parents, right? On the other hand, parents are constantly trying to get closer to their children, and it hurts when I see these children being ashamed of introducing their parents to their friends. So, often middle class families have nothing to show off, no big cars, no big homes, nothing. And that's because parents happily kill their own dreams to give their children a life that they could have never have. Yeah, I have seen there when I was in my school. So even I belong to a very middle class family. I can say less than middle class families. So there was a girl and my like me, right? So we both like our dad, like they both of our dad worked in same field, we can say. So one day our teacher asked us that first he asked that girl, okay, so she said that very like she was not that much free to say it. So she said it that my dad is you know he sells clothes, right? So and she was kind of ashamed of it, and then the teacher said like, so he's a shopkeeper. Then she said yeah, he's a shopkeeper. And when it came to my turn, I said my dad is an auto driver. And then I was like okay. And and there were a few kids who gave me a bad look, like okay. So I'm like, I'm not gonna give a shit about you because my dad always was there and he always helped me. So that matters a lot, and he is working so hard so that he can provide me food in my table and a roof on the top of my head. So yeah, that matters a lot, right? So I never was ashamed by introducing my dad that he's an auto driver, and I respect that. Your father may never have worn expensive clothes, but when it comes to you, giving them to you, he would never have said no. Similarly, your mother has always put your happiness above anything else, your education, your needs, your comfort. They have always gone an extra mile to give you more than they could afford. Today, if you can buy and read this book, it's because of them. Remember that all the happiness of your parents comes from you. Even if they scold you sometimes, believe me, they are more hard than you. Yeah, that is true, because I've seen like my dad don't basically they he purchases clothes for himself, right? There are very few occasions when he do that, and it was last time, like from last 9 years he have just shopped for himself only for 2 times. And I have like shopped so many times, like I have so many dresses, and he always say that purchase this kind of clothes and all for me but not for them. I feel that parents are so great and they work for us a lot. They always try to give us their best. So that is something, and we need to respect it. We need to be proud about it, right? Is there If there is a difference of opinions, when I told my family that I wanted to pursue teaching as a full-time career, they were intentionally a little apprehensive, but I talked it out. Then I asked them for a year to show them the result. Now that I have been successful, they are more than pleased. Sometimes when you decide on a career or make a big decision in other important aspects of your life, you may also face similar conflicts of opinion with your parents. I don't say your parents will always be correct, but you should also consider their views. Don't just get angry with them, and don't stop talking, because this will further increase the problem. Instead, ask them about their insecurities and concern about your decision. Remember, no parents wants their children to fail. So put yourself in their shoes and ask them about their point of view. It will help you to come to a conclusion quickly. However, I will also remind you that you may also be wrong in your decision. Your parents have seen more summer than you, and they have more experience in how the world works. Usually, we make decisions based on our short term gains, but our parents have long term consequences in their mind. So, never complain about the things your parents could not give you. It was probably all they had. Okay, so if you are making few kind of decision that your parents are not liking it, so you need to ask them that what are the things that you don't like, what don't you like you need to ask, why, the reason why. And yeah, then you need to have a good conversation so that you both can agree, because you also want good in your life and they also want the same thing, so your motive is same, so you just need to have a conversation to sort out, you know how to handle the things. So it is very important, and your parents are not your enemies, so you trust them. And yeah, that is something that you're gonna, that is going to help you. How to move beyond 59%. I know it's not easy surviving in this world which is changing every minute with cutthroat competition, heartbreaks, failures, and constant ups and downs. But in the chaos, your parents are your safe and happy space. So don't distance yourself from them. They might not understand Instagram, but they definitely understand how this world operates. They might have no ideas about what issues you have in your studies or in your office, but they know how to handle stress and worries. They might not have been on holidays or on vacation with you, but they know what makes you happy the most. So don't hesitate to share your issues with them. It's true, sometimes what happens if I am dealing with any kind sort of thing, although I am very close person, I don't share most of my issue with my parents or with anyone, because I feel somewhere that I'm going to disturb them, right? So even I'm crying and my ears are red, right? And then my mama, caught me. So she will ask that what is the thing that disturbing me, and I will completely say nothing, because it's I am like this way. So and then at night she will prepare my favorite food so that I could become happy. So that makes me feel good. It makes me feel that I am still loved by someone. You mean the world to your parents. They might not express it to you, but they want nothing but your success and happiness. So spend as much time with them as you can. When you were a child, you needed them for the time to brush your teeth, to tie your laces, and to help with your homework. They were your superheroes. Now, when you grow up, they need you in the same way. It's your payback time. I honestly believe that nothing's work for you more than your parents' blessing. They will be a part of your life for as long as you are alive. Yeah, I think so. This is wonderful, awesome. Sometimes I also feel that sometimes your parents could be protective, and I don't like it. But I think at the end they are your parents and they are right, so you gotta trust it, okay? The last point is, having said all those good things and parenting and bonds and affection, I also want to add that some parents are very controlling and critical, and they are very difficult to deal with. I often get messages where students open up to me and they tell me how their father or mother or a family member abusive and toxic. I understand it is emotionally very exhausting, and it's tough to focus on your studies and your career in those environments. But let me tell you one thing straight: you cannot do anything about those people. You cannot fix them. You will have to learn to deal with them, and you should try to ignore what they say. I know it's difficult. Don't waste your energy on them. You are stronger than you think you are. Instead, channelize your anger or frustration on your studies. Things will definitely get better when you get a job or stand on your feet and get successful. Yeah, see, the thing is that sometimes you kind of find out that your parents are toxic, and you are in a very toxic or abusive parent, family and all. So at that time, what to do? Because a child will always look up to their parents, and if the parents is toxic, then what to do? It becomes very messy, right? So at that time I'll say ignore it. I know it is very very difficult, right? Ignore it and try to focus more on yourself rather than focusing on others. So that will help you. Ignore, do meditation, it will help you. Breathing exercise you can do in the morning, that's gonna help you a lot. And yeah, I think at the end, if you will get a job, whenever you will get succeed in your life, if it is more than the limit, if they are beating you up, if they are trying to manipulate you, then leave the home. That's what you can do, because no one deserves hatred and no one deserves this kind of abusive behavior. Everyone deserves, you know love and all, and we should love each other. Everyone deserves it, right? Okay, so yeah, for now, if your parents are good, then behave good with them. If your parents are toxic, ignore them. The main motive of your life should be that figure out what your goals are and discuss to someone who can motivate you. If you don't have anyone, discuss to yourself. I do that a lot. Discuss to yourself, and yeah, you'll figure out. And I just wish you that do your best every day, and hope that you will succeed in your life, and hope that you'll get whatever you want, emotionally, physically, mentally, and in every single term, right? Okay, so bye, love you, and have a wonderful time.